I'm just saying, this shouldn't be debated. Fans need to save it. Your family and friends' opinions have been persuaded. They all playing favorites. So I'm on the block. I could care less about college or that you're educated. Sorry, I can't relate. You need to stop spitting ball. What the hell you went to law school for? Spent 16 years, homie, you took too long.
Yeah.
16 years and alone, the whole song. Your story here is
up real quick.
you ain't hot enough to be heard and unsung.
Should have been a cop. Fuck hip hop. You playing that shit right there.
Hell yeah, man. Like I said, man, this shit is fire, baby. I think this album right here, I enjoyed the most, man.
Oh, the ESQ joint. Yeah. The ESQ joint is crazy.
I enjoyed that the most.
So have you heard Glory all the way through yet? Or
yeah.
Oh, you did. Okay, you did.
Yeah, I heard everything. Only one I missed, I believe, was Live from the 215.
Got you.
And
got you. Yeah, ESQ is tough. ESQ is tough.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna get flagged for playing none of this
no,
music, right?
This is my shit. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, a couple of times I got flagged for playing music in the background. You know what I mean?
No. We good. We official tissue.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just talk for a minute on IG. Before we bring you in, I'm gonna let some people get into the room. You know what I'm saying?
I already sent the request, so whenever you're ready to let me in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Devil's Advocate. Do What I Want to Do.
Ooh.
Looney.
Yeah. You mixing and matching. That's what's up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Pro Bono, the joint. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that. I like this album.
Oh, well, now a couple of Johns. Well, Looney and Do What I Want to Do. That's from Expect the Unexpected.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
I'm saying you mixing and matching a little bit. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good though.
You're right, because you know what? I just put everything on one big playlist.
Right.
So I'm just shuffling. You know what I mean?
What's up? That's a good thing.
Yeah, but I'm going back and forth between Esquire and Expect the Unexpected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's up?
Word. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Oddcast Podcast. We on IG Live right now and also YouTube Live. You know what I mean? As we said, we're gonna be live with the brother Trey Lee. In a second here, just gonna let a few people come into the room. You know what I mean? That's all. But like I said, all my subscribers and all my followers, shout out to y'all, man. We just hit 1,100 followers today. Salute y'all. Thank y'all, man. You know what I mean? We can't do it without y'all. So we're going to try to keep bringing y'all the dopest content possible. You know what I mean? Word. Yeah. This cat is associated with dudes like D-Dot, the Mad Rapper. You know what I mean? P. Diddy. You know what I mean? Guys like Mark Pitts. You know what I'm saying? Just listening to some of his music in the background here. But like I said, shout out to everybody that's been following, man. Like I said, 1,100 followers, man. Salute y'all. That's something small, but that's big to us. Shout out to my man T Nitty. Shout out to my man 1010 Wins, my man Jay. Philly is in the building. Word. Shout out to my man Jay on the assist with this whole thing right here, man. Word. You know. Just letting some folks join in. But yeah, YouTube, yeah, like I said, man, you know, I'm gonna be going back and forth, man. But like I said, we live with Trey Lee. Shout out to my man Outstanding from the Boulevard Marcy that just joined. Peace, God. Yeah. Salute to you, Out, man. You be like corresponding with me, man, giving me that OG history, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, you already know. Oh man, this cat got a joint about Howard girls. He went to Howard University, HBCU. Shout out to Howard University. Anybody that went to Howard, salute to y'all. Salute to my Morgan State listeners and followers, y'all mean. Shout out to all the HBCUs. Word. My man Outstanding said, this is a valid guest right here. Word. Salute. My man is official, man. Hopefully y'all gonna get to learn a lot about him tonight, man. You know what I mean? Those that didn't know, man. Those that already know, then hey, it is what it is. But yeah, definitely. I've been blessed to have some official guests on here, man, for real. And this cat is definitely an elite. Crazy cat catalog. From the Boulevard Marcy, yeah. No doubt. Word. 97, he came out with that joint. It's party time. You know what I mean? It was all over the radio, a smash hit. Power 99, all that. Radio stations everywhere. Nationwide was rocking that. Y'all remember that? Yeah, this man is on with the Podcast podcast tonight, for real. Word. Yeah, man. Grown man music right here, y'all. Y'all gotta check his catalog. Check his catalog, baby, for real. This is what the game been missing right here, man. Yeah, my man Al Sanders said, keep your hands high. Y'all already know. One of the few cats to get a feature with Biggie. So that already lets you know the caliber. For real. But I think I'm gonna bring the brother in, man. He been waiting patiently. Let me see. I'm gonna bring you in on live here.
Hold on. Let me see. Wait a minute. Let's cut this down. Hold on.
Yeah, I got you. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, we got Trey Lee in the building. We just having some technical difficulties. We trying to maneuver real quick.
All good. Let me turn that around. There we go.
Okay.
What up?
What's good with you, brother?
Hey, man, all is well, man. All is well. You know, just getting me and my family ready for the, you know what I mean, for the holidays. Oh, that's all. How about you, man? How you?
Oh, man, the same thing, man. I've been maintaining, man, you know.
Yep.
Blessed to be here, man. 2020 has been a rough year, but like I said, we're gonna have a small gathering, you know, with the family. Very maybe 4 or 5 of us.
Right.
So,
I mean, it's always good to, you know what I mean, be able to for you know, just even the small amount of loved ones that you're able to get together with, man. That's always a blessing, man. So salute to that. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, man. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, I want to welcome Tracy Lee to the Podkast podcast tonight, y'all. For real, salute, man. We got a real OG, a real legend in the building. My man was saying it's an echo. Do you hear an echo when I'm talking, bro?
No, not really. Hold on. Let me cut that down. All right, cool. We good.
Okay.
We should be good.
Okay.
See if they hear echo now.
Yeah, y'all let us know.
Yeah. I see my man Marlon stepped in the building. Marlon Rice, what's good, brother?
Salute definitely. Yeah, you know Marlon?
Yeah, that's the homie right there, man. We did an interview last year in Brooklyn, man. It was a beautiful thing. I mean, we really talked about a whole lot of stuff, man. So salute to that brother. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta check that out. Me and him went to school together. We went to Morgan together, man.
Yeah. It's a lot of y'all Morgan cats, man. My wife is from Baltimore too, so you know I got a bit of and my man played ball there back in the day. My man T. Wright, so I got a bit of an affinity for Morgan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We out here. Morgan is out here, just like Howard, man. We kind of like distant cousins a little bit.
Yeah. My man Jay Brown, my man, you know what I mean? Kill, my man Kill.
Definitely.
Like, small world. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, man. So yeah, like I said, I just want to thank you for coming on the show, man, and taking time out to talk to the people tonight, man. But you know, you've had a lot of accomplishments in the game and everything. But before we start talking about what you're doing now, I want to take everybody back to like where it all started, man. Growing up in Philly. You from Philly, correct?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
What part of Philly did you grow up in?
Southwest, but really a bit of everywhere, man. I went to Girard College, which is up North Philly. You know what I'm saying? It's the school with the big wall around it, man. And back in the day, you know what I'm saying, we used to think that the wall, it's a boarding school. It goes from first grade to 12th grade. You know, it started off as being an all white, you know, made for all white orphans. This was like back in the 1800s, you know what I'm saying? And so you know, after the civil rights movement, they started letting us in, you know what I mean? And so now the school is like 99% black, you know what I mean? But it definitely helped shape the foundation of who I am, you know what I'm saying? Like I got lifelong brothers and sisters that come from that school, you know what I'm saying? Because we all live together, you know what I mean? Right. And it's basically based, it was established for single parent households, you know what I mean? Okay. To lend that type of assistance, you know what I mean? And tuition free. I mean, it really changed my life, man. Because, you know, by the 6th, 7th grade, when you're going through that whole puberty stage, you know, you tend to, you could veer left or veer right, you know what I'm saying? And so my mom kind of recognized that, being as though, you know, at the time, you know, single parent household. So, you know, somehow, you know, God, I'm a very spiritual cat. So it's like God kind of, you know, showed her some things, and she found this school in one of them good housekeeping magazines, you know what I mean? And so the rest is history. I started going there about the 7th grade, graduated, you know what I'm saying? Then eventually went to Howard and all that. But, you know, that really made up my foundation, you know what I'm saying? It really helped pay, you know, kind of pave the way for my foundation, you know what I'm saying?
All right. So did you play sports or anything like that as a kid?
Absolutely. I play ball, play basketball, play baseball, big baseball fan. You know what I mean? Not a lot of brothers you know, hip to that game, but actually that was the first game that I ever loved, you know what I mean? Growing up. But got a scholarship playing basketball and baseball, but they were at like, I think basketball was D2. I want to say baseball was D3. And so it was like, if it wasn't D1, I wasn't going down that path, because I had another passion, which is also the music, you know what I'm saying? And so it was like, you know, you know, I went to the camps and all that. I played against like Christian Layton and all these other cats, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, if it wasn't D1, and I guess that was my ego. If it wasn't, I didn't want to work, you know what I'm saying? So if it wasn't D1, then I'd take my talents elsewhere and start exploring my other passion, which was the music side, you know what I'm saying?
All right. So before you got into hip hop and all that, what kind of music were you listening to as a kid? You know what I mean?
Oh man, all the greats, man, from Stevie, and you know, you know him by first name, Stevie, Marvin, Donnie. You know what I'm saying? Curtis, Michael, you know what I mean? Prince, you know what I mean? Like, you know, Shaka, you know what I'm saying? Like, those were the people that I, you know, that I grew up listening and loving, you know, and I was even into gospel music, you know what I'm saying? From the Clark sisters to Andre Crouch to Edwin and Walter Hawkins, like, you know, and these were, you know, just people that were played in my household. Al Green, you know what I'm saying? And so these are the sounds that you'll probably hear in a lot of my music now, you know what I mean? Because those are the sounds that made up, and James Brown, and truthfully, these are the sounds that made up hip hop, you know what I'm saying? You know, hip hop is a hodgepodge, and we just took all of that and created our own form of expression, you know what I mean? So, you know, it didn't divvy too far from, you know, from the first time that I heard, you know what I mean, Rapper's Delight, which is really where, you know, my love for hip hop music. I believe that the culture, you know, us growing up, you know, being born in the late 60s, late 60s, early 70s, we were already, you know, born into the culture. We were already a part of the culture, and just everything started to develop after that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yeah, our generation definitely, you know, was the hip hop generation. You know what I mean? Like everything before that was like definitely soul music. And you was mentioning those artists, those great artists. I could definitely feel that listening to your music. listening to your whole catalog. So
Sound of Philadelphia, I'd be remiss. I have to mention Sound of Philadelphia, Gambling Huff. Gotta mention that. You know what I mean? Tom Bell, gotta mention that. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. So when did you realize, or at what age did you realize that you wanted to rhyme?
I think initially it had to be, again, got to go back to Rapper's Delight, because for most of us that lived outside of New York City, you know what I'm saying, Rapper's Delight was like the first record that most of us, heard. Super Rhyme and Rapper's Delight. So, but and I always had an affinity for it from then. But I think when I wanted to seriously start, taking this on as a profession, like I really wanted to be a professional MC probably at the age of 12. And it really started with like Melly Mel, you know what I'm saying? Because Mel was the first person that I heard that wasn't doing the hip, the hop to the hibbit and throw your hands in the air. Like he was giving you narration, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He was giving you visual, the visual aspect of the words. So it really started with that, with the message. And then it was Tila Rock. That was the next phase, because Tila Rock with the It's Yours record, right? It's Yours was a record. The beat was hard. Rick Rubin killed that. You know what I'm saying? Because that was the first time I ever heard a bounce like that. You know what I'm saying? Between that and Sucker MCs, like as far as, using the drum machine. You know what I mean? It wasn't a sample type of thing. It was really the drum machine that was the driving force of those tracks. So, and then Tila Rock was coming in with the commentating, illustrating. Description giving. You know what I mean? I'm like, woo, do you hear the words this man is using? But then what topped it off was LL Cool J. LL Cool J brought the superstar aspect of it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, indeed.
Along with the rhyme skill, along with the vibrato, along with the, you know what I mean, just the moxie. He was the first real superstar of rap. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Curtis Blow came before him, but that was like kind of like the inception. And LL just took that ingredient and just took it to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? So those are the three influences to me. So you talking about between 82 and 84, when I really was like, all right, it's time to get it together. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
So were you like writing rhymes down on a pad, or were you like coming off the top of the dome?
Nah. I've always been a writer. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a phase probably when I got to college, you know what I'm saying? When I was at Howard and I got around, a group of my peers, you know what I'm saying? The cats that, that went along on this journey with me once I got signed, you're talking about Power Move, which included a group called One Step Beyond. And then eventually we Voltroned into R&F, which also, was a group called The Reaps out of the South Bronx. And so I think during that phase, it was, I experimented with freestyling and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And, I liked it. I loved it too. You know what I'm saying? But I think primarily throughout my career, man, because I've been fascinated by words and fascinated by, being able to use words in the right context. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And have people, listen to the music and listen to me say a certain word and be like, damn, what the hell does that mean? And actually kind of look it up and find out, what it means and in what context I use it and all that kind of stuff. So, but again, these are this is what an MC does. An MC can do it all. But if you're asking me my preference, I love to write. You know what I mean?
All right. So choosing the name, what made you go with Tracy Lee is your government name, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So what did you go through like name phases or?
I've only had 3 names in my life. And Tracy Lee was not my idea, but it wound up being the best decision that was ever made for me. You know what I'm saying? But it started off as MC Lee. You know what I'm saying? I was a part of a crew called the MC5. When you talking about, like I said, we going back. So we talking like 82, 83, you know what I mean? Then I broke off from that group, started another group called the Jazzy 3, you know what I'm saying? And so that's when I changed my name from MC Lee to L Rock. And so that was around age 15, you know what I mean? 15, 16. And that name stuck with me until I actually got the deal. You know what I mean? Once I got the deal, And shout out to Derek D. Angeletti. And for those that don't know who that is, I mean, if you are an aficionado of hip hop, you should know what that is automatically. He did records called, The Benjamins, Hypnotize, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Where I'm From, the list goes on and on. But he's the one, that kind of told Mark Pitts, who also went to Howard, we all went to Howard together. He's the one that hit Mark Pitts to, the fact that, I got busy, you know what I mean? And so when we finally signed the deal, they felt like, again, this was a great idea, but at the time I was resistant. It was like, nah, we can't really market L Rock. You know what I'm saying? That's old school, Like, we got to come up with something else, man. And so, they were the ones that was like, yo, you need to change your name, just Tracy Lee. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm not changing. No, that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, and of course, me and my crew, we so, just adamant about staying the way we are at that particular time that we were all like, nah, I'm not changing the name. But, I actually, and the person that told me that, or gave me the, not the blessing, but really convinced me to change the name was my mom. Because I talked to my mom about it. I was like, they got the nerve to want to, she was like, well, what they want to change the name to? I said, Tracy Lee. Like, yeah, that's a great name. It's like, how can you say that? I gave you that name.
Right.
Hey. You know what I mean? So that was it from there, man. You know what I mean?
That's what's up. That's what's up. Shout out to Mom Deuce, man. Moms ain't never gonna steer you wrong, man. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Mom's gonna keep it a buck with you every time.
Facts.
So now that you're signed, man, talk about recording your first album, Many Faces.
Things happen so fast. So I signed that deal in April of 1996. And the theme started getting played probably about the end of October 1996. And so if you think about it, nobody knew who I was. And for a person that just got signed, was that 5 months earlier, to now have a record being played on Power 99, Hot 97, that's kind of unheard of. So because, and keep in mind, this was probably like the third attempt to create a record that we could service to DJs, because I had already, like I said, with Power Move and my crew, we had already, had created a catalog of work that actually was the work that got us signed. So we already had stuff in the stash. So now, but I guess in our labels' minds, that really wasn't supposed to be the records that were supposed to be used on this album, which they wound up, being on the album, at least a lot of them. We're thinking, we're gonna have some time to kind of cultivate this thing, you know what I'm saying? Get a single out there popping, and then from there, kind of create another single and all this other stuff. So it first started off, the first record I did was a record called Showtime while I was signed. And Showtime featured the likes of one Miss Faith Evans. And so that record was hard. You know what I'm saying? That record was hard, but we gave it to the New York DJs, Clue and Flex and all of them. And they was like, nah, that ain't, we're not playing that. So then I made another record called I Like It Like That. You know what I mean? Which sampled the D'Angelo sample, the lady sample. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So we knew that was out of here. Like, matter of fact, I gave that record to Kid Capri. Gave the record to Kid Capri. He loved it. He was like, yo, when we blasting off with this? Gave it to some other people, but Kid Capri was ready to blast off with it. But the label this time was like, nah, because we can't clear the sample. You know what I'm saying? So then the third record we made was the theme, is Party Time. Now, the funny thing about that was when we created that record, I always wanted to use the Pieces of a Dream. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mount Airy Groove, because that was home team. And I always said that, when people hear me, I want them to know where I'm from. So I thought that, and plus that was one of them records that was played in the park jams, back in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was a situation where identifying that record, sampling that record, and then D-Dot took that record and then created this track that was just so infectious and so monstrous even to this day that me and him knew we had one. But the funny thing was, my crew was like, nah, that ain't it, Trey. That ain't it. You know, listen, and you can, and I see a couple people in here that was there. Like, you know what I'm saying? What up, Apollos? I see you in here. I thought I saw Lance up in here. It was a couple people. It was, not matter of fact, the majority of my crew was like, nah, that ain't it, Trey. Da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the minute we took that record and we gave it to DJs, right? So again, gave it to Clue. Nah. Gave it to Flex. Nah.
Really?
We might have gave it to Kev. Nah. Right? But the minute, and I'm talking about Cosmic Kev, but the minute we gave it to Cool DJ Red Alert, shout out to Red Alert, shout out to Uncle Red. Uncle Red heard the joint, was like, oh no, this is a smash. And the minute he said it, then everybody else fell in line.
See that?
The minute he said it, everybody else fell in line. And so from that point on, it was on Make It or Break It. It was on, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, radio's still trying to test the waters on the record. Once the public got, the public is really, the people are really the ones that made that record what it is. Because we did not get the backing from even the label. The label was like, you know, we ain't putting no money behind it. Y'all just gonna have to see what it is and just, you know, kind of get it to the. So that's what we did. We brought it to, and the cosign from Red Alert started an avalanche. You know what I mean? And so after that, even, you know, cats that rock with me, and it was some ladies that were around at the time. You know, when we first played that record in cars and stuff like that, like in a car and all that. They was like, nah, that ain't it. The minute it hit the radio, oh, that's my, that's my John. That's my, like, man, get out of here. So it just goes to show you the influence. Like more people are influenced by influencers than they are by their own ears. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and so going back to your question, once that record hit, it was like, okay, the label's like, oh, we got to speed up the process. Right? We got to speed up the process. We got to get an album out. But I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. You know what I mean? People don't know who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know this record, but that don't necessarily mean that there's going, you know, people just going to jump out there and just go buy a whole project. We got to set this thing up. Right. But the label's philosophy was, while the iron is hot, we need to strike. So a lot of those records that we made that's on that Many Faces album were actually a part of demos that we were shopping back in 92, 93, 94. You know what I mean? So those records that when people finally heard them on that Many Faces album, those records were already 5 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's and my man Kill is in here. He'll attest to it. You know what I mean? Like, because he heard those demos. My man Apollos, he in here too. They heard those demos before it actually became a part of the album. They heard the ashy versions. They heard the, you know what I mean, the gritting, the tissue and the tape versions. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, you know, and I've heard a couple, you know, people was like, yo, you know, to them, you know, the records had more feeling back then because we were in the trenches back then. So now you go from creating music when you're in a certain space, it sounds different than when you finally make it, you know what I'm saying? And then you're trying to recreate these records, you know what I'm saying? So, so basically, you know, the label rushed themselves based off of the resurgence of that theme record. That theme record sped everything up, you know what I mean?
Right. That's what's up. Okay. So, real quick, you had you're one of the only rappers, not the only rapper, but you're one of the few rappers to do a collab with Big. You know what I mean? What was it like recording that song with Big, man? You know, because I saw something where you were describing how Biggie really didn't use a pen, man. He really didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know. I mean,
what was that like, bro? And who linked that together? Was it your Howard Associates or?
It was Mark Pitts. So Mark Pitts is the cat that I was signed to. He is the president and CEO of By Storm Entertainment. And so I was actually his first artist, or at least first hip hop artist that he signed. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so, he was managing Big at the time. You know what I mean? And so that was just a natural connection. That was just a natural connection. He was like, I'm managing Big. This is my artist on the label. And I'll take it a step further. Beside D Dot, who was the main figure that got me signed, I want to say Big was a big assistant or in that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because when Mark was listening to the demos, he would have Big in the car.
Oh, okay.
And so it was 3 records in particular. It was Rugged One, and two records. No, yeah, it was Rugged One, it was Repent, and it was this other record called No Doubt. And so, Mark would play these records while he's in the car with Big. And, Big, with the one eye, like, was listening to one of them joints. He looked over at Mark, was like, yo, your man's nice. Yo, your man's nice. And so at that point, I think Mark felt confident about sending me the paperwork. You know what I mean? And so, when we get into Keep Your Hands High, I think it was already kind of like, on the setup. Like it was already on the setup. It was already like, yeah, the cat that I'm managing and the cat that's on my label, yeah, we're gonna do a record. So I get in the studio, I walk in there. We had D&D Studios with which at the time was owned by Premier. Shout out to Primo. So I walk in there, Big's already in there, and then Jay-Z's in there too. He's still in Can't Knock the Hustle mode. He got on the fur and all of that, you know what I'm saying? But he was in there, rocking with Big. And I think Mark was trying to set up something where me and Jay did a record. But I think at the time, Jay felt like, at least this is what I heard, Jay felt like we didn't have nothing to talk about. You know what I mean? Because Jay was, heavy into what he was doing and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so he leaves. Now it's just me and Big, you know what I mean? And so, we get in there and Big is just giving me all this jewelry. You know what I'm saying? Because at that time, we talking about the end of 96. We recorded that record December 6, 1996. And so Big is at the top of the food chain. You know what I mean? He's the creme de la creme. So for him to be able to kind of, within this 8-hour session, we was in there like 8 hours, to kind of walk me through his career, walk me through, certain things that he would encounter, the ups, the downs, the ins, the outs, the trials, the tribulations, and all that. And I'm just soaking all of this up. I'm like, yo, man's giving me game. He's giving me game right now. He's telling me what his future aspirations are, all of that. But in the midst of that, we got a little Henny, you know what I mean? We got some medicinals, we doing all that. And then you will see him kind of in the middle of the conversation, kind of sit back in his chair and just start doing this. The music's playing in the background, but he's just doing this. Then he would come back in the conversation, start talking, da-da-da-da-da. Then he would dip back out, start doing this. And so I'm peeping him, and I got my pen and my pad. I'm peeping him, and I'm looking at him. And so after like the third time I saw him dip out, I'm like, yo, what are you doing? He said, no, chill. So I'm like, okay, cool. So then after about 8 hours, he goes, all right, I'm ready. I said, ready to do what? He said, I'm ready to go in the booth. Yo, and so I'm perplexed because I never saw anybody that did not have a pen and a pad at that time. I'm not saying that there weren't anybody before him that did it this way, but I never saw, especially when we started talking about creating songs, right?
Right.
So I'm like, yo, you not gonna write it down? He's like, nah, it confuses me. And I thought about it. I was like, what the hell does he mean? But I saw exactly what he meant later on, and I'll explain why. So then he gets in the booth, he's in there and he's sitting down because he had just came off a car accident. He had just had a car accident. So his hip was still messed up and all that. So he's sitting down recording this joint. And so I just saw him walk the whole verse, all the verses down. He goes, F that, I preach it. My 9 reaches. All right, bring it back. Fuck that, I preach it. My 9 reaches, the prestigious. And so he kind of piecemeals it all the way down, right? And so after he was done, then we listened, and I'm like, yo, this shit is, what just happened? I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, what just happened? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also within that session, I know, matter of fact, if you were MC, right? If you were MC, you already competitive, right?
Right.
So even though he wasn't necessarily talking about me, he's also in the back of his mind like, yo, I cannot, first of all, it's a new cat. Second of all, I know he's nice. I'm not going to let this dude, just come in here and just like, Like, I don't care if it's his record or not.
Right.
And so I felt the same way. I'm like, I respect Big. I like his records, but I don't care I don't care. Like we MCs, we're going to make first of all, the first objective is we're going to make a hot record.
Mm-hmm.
The second objective is I'm going to bite your head off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even though we're not really battling.
As y'all should.
I got to have the better verse. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what you hear. You know what I mean? And that's what you hear when you're listening to the record. You know what I mean? Because he dug so deep on that second verse when he started talking about me and my nigga Lance took Chemistry's Vans, bricks. I'm listening to the joint and I'm like, this the first time it's kind of like he's telling you the story of how his business is and how and I'm like, oh, word, that's what you doing? That's slick, that's hot too, that's hot. And so, that's what that whole experience is about. Now, going back to why he said, the writing it down confuses him. If you listen to Big, I always tell people, Big is the most efficient MC ever. And what I mean by that is that he says more with less. So even the syllable structure, the words that he chooses to use, he can say in one word where most MCs got to use 5 or 6 words to say. You know what I'm saying?
Word
selection is stupid. You know what I mean? And if you think about it, people revere Big. Some people revere Big as the greatest of all time. And they basing it really off of 2 albums. Think about that. There's cats with catalogs and shit. You know what I mean? You're talking about Nas, you're talking about Jay, you're talking about, you know what I mean? All these cats that you revere as the greatest of all time. He's in the conversation based off of 2 albums. If that ain't efficiency, I don't know what the hell is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and so when he starts talking about, it confuses me because if you're writing it down, you're going from the head to the paper to the mic. So his whole thing is, let's cut out the middleman. Why do I need the paper? Especially the way I rhyme, especially the word selections that I use. And my shit is melodic. I'm going straight from here to here. I'm going to write it down in here, but I don't have to transfer it here. I can transfer it to the mic.
Right.
And so that was the method to his madness. And eventually, like after I got out of law school, I started like one of those albums that you heard, Expected Unexpected. I didn't write anything down on that one. Now the new one, Glory, I wrote everything down because I wanted to document what I was saying. But that Expected Unexpected album, I didn't write it down. And I can hear, like throughout my career, though that particular album was in the framework. I'm not saying I sounded like Big at all, but it's in the framework of what he was doing, meaning saying more with less, more bounce, more melodic, you know what I'm saying? That kind of shit. So that was the method to that whole session. You know what I'm saying? And it was the greatest moment for me, educational wise, in my career as a signed artist.
That's what's up, man. So when y'all recorded that, was it like, did he just do like 1:16 and then you guys broke it up to where like he went and then you went and then you came, then he came with the second verse and then you went after, or how did that work?
Nah, we did it exactly like you heard it.
Oh, okay.
So basically he jumped in there, he did an 8. Then I jumped in there, I did my 16. Then he jumped back in there. It was a real back and forth. Then he jumped back in there, he did his 8. And then I jumped back in there and did my 8. And then he jumped back in there, did his 16. And to be honest, after he did that 16, I had another 8 that I was supposed to end it off on because the format of the song was 8, 16, 8, first verse. And then hook. And then coming back was 8, 16, 8, except in the opposite, right? So I had another 8 ready to go after that 16. But after he got all personal and shit, I'm like, yo, how the fuck I'm gonna compete with that? You know what I mean? So I had to, and plus his bounce on there, my bounce was a little different. And so I already, since we were already like in the middle toward the end of the song, I saw how this drum was flowing. So what I had before that last 8 was different than the flow that I heard the song going in. So I was like, nah, I need to match that. You know what I'm saying? And so that's when I came back like a week later and did that last 8. You know what I mean? So that's how that joint went.
All right. That's what's up. So what was the experience like when you recorded the remix with Busta Rhymes? What was that experience like?
Oh man, see, you about to get a story not most people get. All right, cool. So check this out. Yo,
All right.
John Doe, what's good, boy? Marshall, what's good?
Yeah, you know, before you go on, it's a lot of people watching. I just want to give a shout out to my man, Undefeated 5-6. I want to give a shout out to Kill. I want to give a shout out to Eddie Got Soul as well.
Yeah. Hey, what's good, baby? Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's my apartment 5B dog peoples, man. Like, you know what I mean? Before I started doing this podcast, I was on that show, man. So, you know, salute to those guys, man. They're the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now.
That's a hell of a show, yo. That's a hell of a show.
Word. Yeah, I got love for them dudes, man. I got to get back on there real soon, man.
Absolutely.
Word. Shout out to Young Guru that just joined. Okay. Yo, salute. Word.
Young Guru, what up, boy?
Yeah, so talk about the Busta experience, man. Recording that remix, man.
Oh man, so the Busta joint, the Busta remix was funny. So I'll tell you, Busta was not the first choice. So after the theme was killing the airwaves, right? It was like, okay, so we in a time where the remix, everybody's doing a remix. So it's like, all right, it's the natural progression. We got to do a remix.
Hell yeah.
So the first person that, Dot approached about doing a remix was Mace. You know what I'm saying? Because, we're already under the, quasi under the Bad Boy umbrella, if you will, because you got Mark Pitts who came from under that system. So boom, they thinking it's the easiest path to go to. Plus Mace is, piping hot at the time. So it's like, all right, let's get Mace. So then, Dot approached him about Mace, and then, Dot approached Mace about the remix. And so Mace, first question he asked was, and shout out to my man Nasheem who did the remix beat, which is fire to me, you know what I'm saying? But we approached Mace with the joint. He was like, "Oh, y'all not using the original?" Nah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. That's what Mace said.
Okay.
So then it's like, all right, cool. So now we're going to Plan B. Plan B was Black Thought. Now, this is the Philly connection. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
You know what I mean? I meet up with Thought, blah. And so we talking about it. He like, yeah, that record is fire. I was like, yeah, man, would love for you to get get on the joint. And so when I played him the beat, he was like, oh, y'all not using the original?
Oh shit.
Nah. Like, nah, I can't get on it. I can't get it. I said, ain't this a bitch? So then that's when Mark called Busta. And so Busta, and if you remember at the time, Busta was still, I make sure everything remains raw.
Yeah.
He's still Dungeon Dragon.
This is the Coming album was out.
What'd you say?
The Coming album was out.
Yeah. But Busta's energy is still But if you listen to this record, if you listen to the track doesn't call for
right.
We partying, but we not so
Dot had to kind of laid back.
Look, Dot told him like, look, man, we need you to, you know what I'm saying? Like, take it down some. And so if you listen to records after that particular remix, Busta kind of took that and ran with the next few. Put your hands where my eyes can see. All of them records that came all after that, because times were changing, things were changing, sounds were changing, and this remix was really like the catapult and the jumpstart to Busta changing his whole MO after that. You know what I'm saying? And for everybody who's listening, if you go back and listen to those records prior to the remix and then listen to the records after the remix, you will definitely hear the difference. And so, Busta's an MC. So we, you knew he was going to do what he was going to do. It was just that, we need to change some tones, change some, you know what I mean? And so he hit it, killed it, and that was it. Somebody said, so why not use the original then? Well, I mean, and that's a viable argument, you know what I'm saying? I was not opposed to using the original, but the remix was hot too. And of course, I'm the artist, so it's like, you do a tug of war, you know what I'm saying? And I can't recall, all the conversations that were had at that time, but the remix was just hot. The remix was hot. We wanted to do something, and it still kept elements of the original. We still had the Pieces of a Dream record in there and all that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but again, Busta came in, made it work. You know what I mean? And everybody loved it after that. So that was it. You know what I mean?
That's what's up, man. So album comes out in the stores. How does the album do sale wise and everything?
Well, there's some discrepancies about those numbers. And it was funny, and I'll keep this part of the conversation anonymous until, you know, I could get some actual paperwork done. But there were actually cats in the game that told us what those numbers were going to be before the official numbers actually came out. Now, that was always odd to me. You know what I'm saying? Because that tells me that somebody is essentially manipulating what you're going to see on paper. Like, how do you know what the number is going to be before the week is done? You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? Before the numbers are actually tallied in, how are you going to tell me what the numbers are? Like, and that always stuck in the back of my mind. But anyway, there are certain publications that say, you know, we sold to this day, you know what I mean? And the needle has not moved. Think about that. That we sold maybe like 370,000 copies. But I think if I did some digging, I'm almost certain that that album went at least gold worldwide.
Okay.
I'm almost certain. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, you know, depending on who your resource is, and the funny thing about that is that, you know, I think a couple years back, a lot of masters, there was a big fire out in California with Universal Records. And so there was a lot of masters that were burned, you know what I'm saying, that just lost. Like, no, you know, there's no way to trace them. There's no way to find them, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, I think a lot of my stuff is really just up in the air. You know what I mean? So when I say the theme, keep your hands high, eat, you know, many faces and stuff, these records to me can't be defined by the sales. They're really defined by, like, when I walk out in the street, whether I be in Philly or I be in London or Paris or know some people in Johannesburg, they know this album.
It's the people.
And so, you know what I mean? Like, they know this album. And I get more accolades for this album now than I did back in 1997, because a lot of people say that the album was ahead of its time.
Yeah, you know, it's definitely like not to cut you off, but listening to it again, it's like a rare gem. Like, wow, like, damn, this shit is fire.
Exactly. So I can't really tell you what the numbers are, and I haven't you know, taken the time out to do the research, but I will once I get the time. Like, I'm gonna really do some deep digging. You know what I'm saying? But so again, my guess is anywhere between, you know, 300,000, you know, 500,000 plus. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. So why can't we find that album on iTunes?
Hey, who you asking? I don't own the master. See, that's a great question. I do not own the masters. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, and remember I told you, you know, there was this big fire in California where a lot of masters got burned. So I don't know who's in charge of the licensing. You know what I'm saying? Universal, obviously, but I don't know why they haven't pulled the trigger on putting it on all platforms. You know, I know certain people have downloaded it, or should I say uploaded it in certain formats like Spotify. If you go on Spotify and you see the theme is spelled wrong. It don't have the album cover. You know what I'm saying? But people are streaming this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, it still gets kicked back to me because it's still in my portfolio. So I'm not tripping just yet. But I'm just like, yo, people at Universal are not like, I know they aren't responsible for this. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at like, you know, licensing situations. And I know, you know, when people do productions, they really read off of like a set list for, you know, licensing for commercials or movies and shit like that. You know what I mean? Unless you have a personal relationship with somebody and say, cool, we want to use this for this flick, because, you know, there's a lot of clearances that you have to go through in order to use a certain record. You know what I'm saying? Depending on, you know, who owns the record. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, you know, it's just odd to me with a lot of these things that come out, whether it be movies, commercials, you know, you don't hear party time and nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
party time is like an easy attachment, if you will. You know what I
Right.
mean? So, so your guess is as good as mine, brother. I don't know why it's not on iTunes. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I hear you. So, after that record's released and the success you had, you sort of took a break between recording that album and then 2014 coming out with the Esquire joint. Did you use that time? Was that the time that you utilized to get your law degree and all that?
Yeah, actually it was. And before we even get to me going to law school, I actually recorded.
Oh, okay, I mean to jump ahead.
No. But that's glad. I'm glad that you phrased the question like that, because that is a part of the missing piece. The missing piece is that I actually recorded another album under Universal, After Many Faces. And we talked about it offline. It was Live from the 215.
Yes, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, and for those people that don't know this, Live from the 215 was done, completed, was ready to go. You know what I'm saying? We did advertisement and the Source and all the other publications, Vibe, blah, blah, blah. It had a young Kanye producing on the album. You know what I'm saying? Before he became Kanye. It had Buckshot Shorty on there. It had Black Rob on the album. It had Corrupt on the album. I mean, the album is dope. My man Guru's on the album. You know what I'm saying? He mixed all of that album. You know what I mean? Yo, was that your first, Rule? If you still in here, was that your first mixing credit with regards to like entire album? Let me know. That I would like to know that. Was that the first album that you mixed in its entirety? Fat Man Scoop was on the album. You know what I mean? I shot a video called We Like, which introduced Ludacris for the first time. Nobody had ever seen Ludacris. It introduced Lil Jon for the first time. It was shot by Brian Barber, who is the director for Outkast, that did all of this stuff and did Idlewild and all that. So and let's go back a little bit. The remix to the theme, the joint with Buster, that video was shot by Little X, who's now known as Director X.
Yeah, okay.
Which was actually his first video that he shot here in the States. He's from Canada.
Yeah, I know that. Okay, wow. Okay, I'm getting all the history tonight.
In the States. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Take it a step further, Ta-Nehisi Coates, you know what I'm saying, did a review on the album, which was actually his first article. Lance, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're still in here. But Ta-Nehisi Coates, he just did a special on HBO Max, I think, you know what I'm saying, about his book. I mean, he's one of the greatest writers of our time right now. But his first article, you know, per se published article, I think, write up was on Many Faces. So there's a certain trend that's going on with regards to, you know what I'm saying, like projects that I've done and really being the springboard for a lot of the household names that people know today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So live from the 215 is done. Ready to go out. I get a phone call. I start doing I get on the road with a group called the Ram Squad. You know
okay, from Philly.
You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Island Projects, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we on the road doing promo, promoting the album. We get out of Miami, not with Ram Squad, but I got a show out in Miami, you know what I mean? It's raining out there, and this is a bit of an omen. So it's raining out there. We got a show. Wind up not doing the show gets canceled, you know what I'm saying? But tells us, yo, just stay out there, blah, 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 come on back. When we get back, Between the World and Me, thank you, Eddie, absolutely. Ta-Nehisi Coates, please, y'all go check that out on HBO Max. My Howard as well. Your art,
looking out, Eddie.
So we get back to JFK, I get a phone call. You know what I mean? I had to flip at the time. You know, I'm thinking, you know, I mean, this is 2000. I got the flip joints. Anyway, I get the call, and Universal's like, your services are no longer needed. We have a parting gift for you. I said, oh, shit.
Wow.
So now it's like immediately I freeze for a second. You know what I mean? And then it's like immediately my mind goes, what the hell I'm going to do? You know what I'm saying? So then, you know, I leave New York. I go back and live with my moms and shit. I'm sleeping on the couch.
Damn.
Only stayed there for like 3 months because mom's was like, nah, you can't stay here. Like, I don't care
Right.
where you go, but you got to get up out of here.
You too wild.
Yeah. I mean, shit, I'm 30 years old by then. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
yeah, she's right. So I go down to Atlanta. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Me and my brother get an apartment. And really that's where the soul searching begins. That's where, I'm really like, damn, I'm getting down to my last dollars, all that kind of stuff. I made it stretch a little bit, but I'm making ends meet. I'm doing, some MC work for Nike, with
Okay.
John Sally, this one-on-one basketball tournament called Nike Battleground, you know what I mean, which was aired on MTV. So I'm doing that kind of work. I'm doing, like all-star weekends for the NBA, things like that. But
Okay.
it's not coming like it was. You know what I mean? So we finally get down to our last $7. And I tell this testimony all the time, man. We get down to our last $7. I'm a spiritual cat, man. And so, I'm really just like, yo, God, you got to take care of this because, still being active, I'm making records. Matter of fact, Marlon Wayans funds a single that I do. Shout out to Marlon. You know what I mean? Like he went to Howard too, real good friend of mine. He executive produces, should I say, funded, this record that I did called Ready, Willing, and Able. We put that out. We got it circulating and stuff like that. Just really trying to keep my hand in the music at the time, but doing it independently. But again, we get down to the last $7. I go to church, man. I put the $7 in the collection plate.
Wow.
And really,
but mind you, it was $7. It was $7 though. It wasn't no, you know what I mean? That it was 7 for a reason. That meant something though. But go
think
ahead.
about that number. Because I'm about to, you know what I'm saying? For people that haven't heard this story, I'm about to blow your mind real quick. So I put the $7 in the plate. What else was I going to do with it? I could have got a burger. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't get a pack with $7. That's not going to happen. I'm not taking nothing on consignment. I'm not doing that. I did that already. You know what I mean? So it's really just a act of faith. Help me out. So I get a phone call a week later after that from Wayne Barrow. Wayne Barrow is Mark Pitt's cousin. You know what I'm saying? By Storm. We're going back to By Storm. So
all right.
He calls me up and says, yo, Universal Records, they got a check for you, but they don't have an address for you. So, you know what I mean? I got the number to the lady. You can call up and give, them your address, and, they'll send you the check. So I did that. So then a week later, you know what I'm saying? A week later, after I made that call, I get a check in the mail for $7,000.
Okay.
I'm just like, oh, okay. Week after that, I get another
7
check.
G's.
Another check for $57,000.
Okay.
So I'm like, man, listen, that's why I don't really get into arguments about like, God and what you believe and all that stuff. I don't even, when somebody wants to go down there, I just stop immediately because I know my testimony. You know what I'm saying? So you really can't tell me, nothing. You know what I'm saying? So then that's when it's like, okay, cool. Paid off some debt, paid off my Howard, my Howard bill. I still owe Howard some money. And so now I'm just sitting on some stuff and I got to figure out what the next move is going to be. And so in the meantime, while I'm doing that, I had to get a job. You know what I mean? I'm moving furniture now. You know what I'm saying? I'm moving furniture, but I'm sitting on something for me to be able to parlay into something else. And so that something else was the revelation of going back to school and understanding this game from a business perspective, you know what I mean? As opposed to, you know what I'm saying, just being in front of the mic, you know what I'm saying? Now it's time to get behind the mic to not only help myself, but help others in the game that didn't really get the guidance that I thought I should have gotten, you know what I mean? But I take full responsibility for every move that I made because, I made the decision. These are the decisions that were made by me, but these are the decisions that were made that got me to this place right here. You know what I'm saying? So it was, you know what I mean? Whether it was planned or not, it wasn't my plan, but it was the divine design. You dig me?
I feel you.
So I went to law school, man, in 2003, graduated 2006. Got my JD in 2006, passed the bar in 2007. And so I've been a licensed attorney for the last 13 years.
Can I ask why law though? What made you study law? Was it because of your experience where you like, you know what? They got me one time, they ain't gonna get me again. Let me
That is exactly
you know what I
right.
mean?
That is exactly right. That is, I mean, because to me, that is the foundation. You know what I'm saying? That is the foundation of the business. If you are approached, if you're an artist and you're approached by somebody and they want to do business with you,
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean? First thing they're gonna do is, maybe it's not the first thing they're gonna do. Let's just say it's not. The first thing you should be thinking as an artist, okay, I need to see some paperwork.
Right.
If they do give you paperwork and you don't have a trained eye, the first thing you're going to say is, "Oh, I need to see a lawyer." You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's the foundation of this business. Is understanding contractually what you're getting yourself into.
Yes.
And how do I navigate through this? And how am I able to bargain, you know what I'm saying, or negotiate? You know what I mean? If you don't have a working knowledge of what it is that you're negotiating, then you already, you know what I'm saying, at a disadvantage. So I felt like, and then the second reason is for branding purposes. Name me another major label artist that is now an attorney. You can't.
Can't think
So
of any.
now, right. So now I can go through doors that most people can't. You know what I'm saying? Now, whether or not people are receptive of that, because now I know probably more than you want me to know, that's a whole different ballgame. But I'd rather be on that side of the table than not know anything at all. You know what I mean? And you invite me in with open arms, knowing that I don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah.
That's what's up, man. So I don't know what how much time we have left. You know, IG is only an hour. So if we do get cut off, would you mind jumping in another
we
live?
We can come back in as long as as long as the people are entertained. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely keep them entertained, man. We got a lot of people in the room, man. I just want to give a shout out to everybody, man. That's rocking with us tonight, man. You know what I mean? If y'all
got any questions, man, please feel free. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No doubt. Speaking about doing things for the culture, man, my man Kill definitely wanted me to ask you a question about how you're how you were doing that remix contest and helping out producers that are coming up in the game.
Yeah, well, first of all, shout out to word of mouth, man, because really it was word of mouth that kind of, you know what I mean, that spearheaded that whole thing. And you know, it really gave an opportunity for those that are trying to get in the game or are part of the game already to get more acclimated with some of the players in the game. Like my man Guru, who's in, I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if he's still in here or not, but Guru was a part of the whole conversation. Like we stayed on IG for like 4 hours, man, just giving people knowledge that most people would have asked you to pay for. You see what I'm saying? Like I've never been an advocate of that cliche saying the game is to be sold, not to be told. That's bullshit to me, because we don't advance as a collective if that's the philosophy that you have. To me, that's a selfish aspect. That's a selfish philosophy. The game is to be sold, not to be told. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. I thought the idea, especially, you know, we're going to go down this rabbit hole. We gave away hip hop for peanuts. We gave away the culture for peanuts, and we continue to give away the culture for peanuts.
Yes.
While others, you know what I'm saying, make billions of dollars off our culture.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, and that's because of that. And so when we gave away the culture, then they implanted this philosophy back on us. The game is to be sold, not to be told. We give it away, but then we got to buy it back. Bullshit. And so when you do that, then you implement that same ideology on the cats that's coming up underneath you.
Right. On your people.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that shit is ass backwards to me. I never ever subscribed to that shit ever. So if there's an opportunity for me to, you know what I mean, you know, and of course within reason, you know what I mean? Like, no, I'm not gonna make a living off of, you know what I'm saying, selling, you know, the knowledge that I have. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that ain't how it works. You know what I mean? When you start sharing knowledge, then it comes full circle. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. He said, where did he get the chorus for Party Time? Was that from Schoolhouse Rock? Absolutely. Shout out to Derek D. Angeletti, man. That was his idea. So I brought the pieces of a dream idea to the table, and he brought the rest. And one of those ideas was bringing that Schoolhouse Rock joint in there, and that was like it's still people to this day that hum the melody, like subconsciously they'll hum the melody. 2020, be like, oh shit! Tell me he didn't use the nouns part of a Schoolhouse Rock, and sure enough, they'll go back and listen to that shit and be like, wow.
I didn't peep that. I remember them Schoolhouse Rock commercials though.
You remember, you know their nouns. You know that they're nouns. Oh, and everywhere. Like if you go back and listen to it, it's right on YouTube, yo. It's right on YouTube. Check it out.
But you're saying the melody from Party Time, baby, where the mongoose? Yep. Oh, that's that joint. Okay. So now now that you're saying it, I think I do remember that. I definitely got to go back in and Google that. Baby. YouTube that. Word up. So like I said, 2014, you dropped Esquire.
Yeah.
I feel like I know Many Faces was your first album, but listening to Esquire, it feels like that was like your first album to me, because I could like hear you. I could hear you like, cause like you were talking, you were being very transparent about the trials and tribulations that you went through in the music industry. You were talking about falling in love, getting married, and just all type of grown man shit, man. So talk about putting that album together. Are you independent now? What label was that on?
Yeah. So it was definitely put out on our label. Me and my wife started a company called Left Entertainment, spelled with two L's.
Okay.
LLEFTENT. And so that album was therapeutic. So keep in mind, if you're going down the timeline, we got signed in 96, put out Many Faces in 97, did Live from the 215, all up under that deal. Got dropped in 2000, 2001. Then there's the period of trying to, figure out where we're going. We go to law school 2003 and get the JD 2006, pass the bar 2007. So we talking about over 10 years, right, of all of these things just transpiring. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I had to figure out a way to get it out. Like, you know what I mean? And I tell people this all the time. If you don't have a gift of some sorts for some type of outlet, I don't see the problem with going to see a psychiatrist. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Somebody or anybody that you can talk to, anybody that you can bounce things off of.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's therapeutic. My form of therapy is being able to write. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so and then eventually recording and things like that. And so ESQ was all therapy for me. There was a lot of anger. There was a lot of hurt. There was a lot of, just psychological things that I had gone through in that time span that I had never let out, that I had never told anybody, that I had never shared. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a real private person. And a lot of my friends are in here, man. They'll tell you, like, I don't really wear my heart on my sleeve. Like, I just, I may mention certain things, but I don't, go full fledged, which a lot of times is unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So this was my way of getting it out. You know what I mean? And so ESQ, it starts off with, like some of the things that I used to read in, a lot of the comments on videos and stuff like that. Like, yo, Trey, you're a one-hit wonder. You ain't gonna make it. Like, why?
On that song Devil's Advocate, right? You're talking about?
Yeah, Devil's Advocate, the joint you was just listening to. And that was produced by my man Guru. Like, why you even coming back? Matter of fact, we never liked the thing. We never big crushed you on your own record. Like, all of these things I saw, I had heard, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I let it get to me, but nobody ever knew that it got to me because I never really said anything. And so this was my opportunity to be like, all right, cool. Let me get all of this shit out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I did it in a way, you know, we still creative with it. So I did it in a way, and I really got the idea from watching 8 Mile when M in that last battle.
I was going to say that. I was definitely going to say that, not to cut you off, but I was going to say kind of like how Eminem kind of brought out his own faults and he used it against his opponent. Yep. And you're kind of doing the same thing on that track, Devil's Advocate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you caught it. You caught it. Yeah,
Most
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. You caught
Most
it.
definitely.
Yeah. So that's that, and so that really set off, and that set the stage for the entire ESQ album, because then we get into, you know, a song called Vision, which is one of my favorite songs that I've ever done.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. I was going to bring that one up.
What were you going to bring up? What were you going to say about it?
Not that I was going to say, but it's just Vision is kind of like a it's like a tell all, like you're really like you kind of naming names, you know what I mean, of people that people that you feel like maybe didn't give you enough game or didn't give you enough insight or should have helped you out, or you know what I mean.
Yep.
Talk about the writing process for that. Like I want to ask, did you do like a few different versions? Like, did you have a version that you was like, nah, let me calm that down, or you just went straight forward and
my
it came out how it came out?
Now I'm saying my pen and the paper, and I might not have wrote that. That might have been one of them joints. Like I told you, know, I went back to what Big said back then and started adopting some of that. So I don't think my pen even hit the paper with that. That was just one of those things where, again, it was therapy. But you know what it did? After I got it out, it also helped me to realize what my faults were. You see what I'm saying? It also helped me to, go back and make an assessment and say, okay, well, you know what? Like I said, I said a line, I said, I signed a contract. I confess that, you know what I'm saying? Like I had to consciously make the decision for things to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so it helped me to reassess where my fault lied. And I think the only thing that the biggest fault was understanding that there's the business and then there's friendship, right? And then understanding and having the discernment of who are really your friends and who are really just associates and who are really a business partner, if you will.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that is what enabled me to make the decisions that I'm making moving forward. You know what I'm saying? But Vision is one of my best works. Like, as far as the song is concerned,
definitely.
Again, you start talking about the transparency, just having to do it respectfully in my mind, which still could be disrespectful to those that I'm naming, but I felt like I had to say names in order for it to have the effect that I wanted it to have. You know what I'm saying?
So what kind of feedback did you get back from them, from the guys that you were talking about on the song?
Well, my brother, my mentor to this day, D-Dot, we had to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We definitely, and see, that goes right to the kind of guy or kind of man he is. You know what I'm saying? Like we were able to have a discussion. And I felt where he was coming from. He felt where I was coming from, and we proceeded forward from there. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's about a respect thing. Like it's respecting and understanding. If you really want to go back in that space and really see what happened, then you will see exactly where I'm coming from. Now, you may think that you've done the right thing, but I'm still going to stand on my square and tell you this is how it went down. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so therefore, from that point, this is what I'm going to tell you what it is. And either we can move past that, or it's going to be, you know what I mean? It's going to be what it's going to be. But that's why that's Big Bro to this day, because we hashed it out. Everybody else, I never really had that talk with them. I don't even know if they heard the record. I shot a video for it and everything, but I don't even know if they heard the record. You know what I'm saying? But at this point, it doesn't matter if they heard the record, because it was therapy for me. You know what I mean?
Okay. It's About Time. That was on there too, right?
Yeah.
Yo, bro, the Marvin Gaye sample, man. Man, that record, I love that record. I love the video.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a celebration of life, like all your accomplishments. It's like you're like, talk about that record real quick, man, because that was a beautiful song to me, man.
Oh no, that and actually it's funny that you point that out because that was actually the first record that I tried to not write it down. And that's what happened. And I have a relationship with somebody that I went to school with who was actually works with the Gay estate, the Marvin Gaye estate. And so when I was trying to use that record, I called them directly. Sent them the record and all that. I said, look, I need to use this, please. What we got to do? You know what I mean? Like, you know, is there a dollar amount to it? Da 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 da. You know, I even got a call from their publisher. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they're admin people. Like, yeah, you're using this record we see, and da 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 da. So they were trying to, at least the admin people were trying to tax me on it. But I think the estate came in, the family came in and was like, nah, let that man ride. He called us directly. And this is a lesson for, you know, cats out there that does music. If you got a relationship with the people that you're trying to use the music, give them a call. If you if you think that this record has the potential to do something, it would behoove you to get ahead of it first. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to try to put it out there. And because, you know, there's certain times that you do play the Catch Me If You Can role. But if you have a connection with the family themselves, then go ahead and put that call in. And you'll be surprised, especially from an independent perspective, they may not hit you over the head like you think. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, I love that record, man. Me and my man Blinks, DJ Blinks, we produced that record. Shout out to Blinkers. You know, just the way we chopped it. Like if you hear that record, it definitely sounds like that record, but there are certain elements of the record that we kind of had to chop and splice together to give it the groove and sustain the groove throughout. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah. So man, that's one of my, like, that's my pop. My pop, every time I talk to my pop, he's like, yo, man, that It's About Time record. Oh man, that's some of the best shit you ever done, man. That's some of the best shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. That's a hot one. That's definitely a hot one. So then you went on to drop Expect the Unexpected. Talk about the process of putting that record together. And this is 2019 now. This is like I'm sorry. Before I do that, I'm sorry. The Howard Girl song, man. I forgot to ask you about that record too. That's a dope joint because you also mentioned Kamala Harris in that record. Like and this is 2014. Kind of foreshadowing.
Absolutely. And we just did. So first of all, shout out to Eric Roberson, because that's where I got the record from. I remixed his record.
Okay.
He did a record called Howard Girls, you know what I'm saying, on his album that came out, I want to say it was a year maybe before I did. You know what I mean? Music Fan First is the name of the album. If y'all don't know, Music Fan First is bananas. Eric Roberson. ERICROBERSON. This dude has one of the best live shows you'll ever see. He's been in the game for I don't know how long, went to Howard as well. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
One of the best writers of our time, man. Nevertheless, he made this record called Howard Girls. I heard it and I was like, you know, he's singing. You know what I mean? I'm like, but I like the bounce. The bounce is crazy. And, you know, I went to Howard too. So I was like, you know what? At first it started off as, you know what? Let me take it and just do a verse. And I'm gonna send it back to you and then you do whatever. But then that verse turned into an entire song. So I was like, yo, it's your blessings, brother. Can I do a hip hop version, if you will, of the record? And so that's what ended up on ESQ. And I still kept his vocals along with my man Gino and who else is on that record? There's 3 other brothers that went to Howard as well that's singing in the hook. And so led by Eric. And so, you know, around our community, that record called Fire. But then, like you said, I'm mentioning people, specifically Howard women.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People that went to Howard, like, and it's a laundry list. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got to listen to the record to see, man, I'm not even going to give away the surprise. There's a laundry list of people that you know that went to Howard University, but you got to go listen to the record to see who I'm talking about.
Check that record out, y'all.
You know what I'm saying? but one of the persons that I name on there is Madam Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. So Eric calls me up right before the day we were voting. I think that was November 3rd. I think he called me on November 2nd.
Okay.
And so he said, look, we need to remix it again and, just pay homage to Kamala, because if she wins, boom, we're going to put the joint out right when they announce it. And so, of course, 45 did all the shenanigans and shit and tried to, do whatever. But then, after all of that, November 7th, we get the announcement. It's official. He's now president-elect, and therefore, we have Madam Vice President-elect, Kamala Harris that's in office or will be in office. So the minute that announcement comes, boom, we drop the video that Saturday, and it's out there on YouTube now.
I saw it.
It's wildfire. Oh, you saw it?
Oh yeah, I definitely saw that.
Oh yeah. So and hopefully we really want her ear to get on it. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I just think it will eventually. Of course, she has other things that she has to deal with right now. So I don't expect her to stop that. But nevertheless, man, I'm just glad that people are receptive to it. And yeah, man, for at least for the Howard community, man, that record has been around for damn near 10 years. And so when you get around homecoming and when you get around, functions, Howard University functions, that record always, it's almost like a Christmas song. You know what I'm saying? It always comes up. You dig me?
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that. I wasn't aware, but now that I know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Word. So yeah, 2019, you dropped Expect the Unexpected. So talk about putting that record together, because to me, I feel like that album, listening to that album is kind of like the what they say, like the precursor to your new project that you got coming out now. Some of your songs, I'm like, oh, okay, I can see where he must have recorded this right before he did this new joint. But talk about but you got tracks like I like, just to name a few, I like the joint Smoke, the joint Looney, and the joint Do What I Want to Do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the introduction of my brother, even though I had known him a couple years before. This is the introduction of my brother, O-Jiz. Now, to me, O-Jiz is the illest producer in the game. You know what I'm saying? Known, unknown, because he produced the entire album. Not only Expect the Unexpected, but he also produced the new album that we're going to talk about in a second called Glory, that's going to be dropping, on all streaming platforms on Friday. But it's available on my website now, actually. But before we get there, this is the introduction of O-Jiz. And so me and O-Jiz had always talked about working together, but we just never found an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I rhymed. He was a part of a crew called Starvation. He was the producer. It was 4 MCs, cats out of Baltimore, Brooklyn, and the like, and PG County. And these boys is ill. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. And I think my man Art is in here. I thought I saw him in here. Art is one of the cats that's in there. Ill.
All right. Shout out to Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, so we had did a song together, but then me and Jiz also talked about doing a song, him producing a song of mine. And so the first song that we did on this album was Doc Brown.
Okay.
And that was using the It's Yours. I told you we're going back full circle.
Yeah.
So we used that sample. And so that record came out crazy. Right?
Yeah.
So then it was like, all right, Jiz, let's do another record. You know what I'm saying? So then I think the next record we did was, I want to say is I Wonder. And so that record came out crazy. So then it was like, you know what? Let's do an album. And so, it was just like make 10 songs and do the album. And so we did the album we started the process maybe in February, March of 2018. I think we were finished by, I want to say July of 2018. And kind of like, just set everything up promo wise to get dropped on January 1st, 2019. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, that's all O-Jiz production. what O'Jiz did, and I really this after I did ESQ, it was like really let's have some fun. You know what I'm saying? So really, I was just having some fun on this.
I could tell.
Experimenting, doing project sounds, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I made exactly the album that I wanted to make at that time because that was my headspace, man.
I could tell that. I could tell listening. I see that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, but that's important that you caught that, bro, because sometimes I make records and I know what I'm thinking, but the magic happens is when the listener can capture exactly what you're thinking about. You know what I mean? At the time,
no doubt,
you hear it. So, yeah, man. I mean, I was just having some fun on that album. I loved it. And so when you start talking about, did you start writing, the next album right after that? No. What I did is that it sparked Glory, because I started that record off with Glory, and so that always stuck with me. Like throughout that whole album, throughout Expect the Unexpected, the opening to Smoke with that word Glory stuck with me. It stuck with me the entire 2019, right? And so. And so, yeah, I'll stop there and say, allow you to lead into the next project. But yeah, Expect the Unexpected. And it was titled Expect the Unexpected because there were a lot of things that I had done on this album that I know people that have been following me since 1997 didn't expect me to do, especially do what I want to do.
Yes. Yeah. On that joint, it sound like the whole time you was rhyming with your chest out, like you was rhyming in the booth with you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And really, it was bridging the gap. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mindless Behavior. You know what I'm saying? The cat. You know what I mean? My man Craig. He's from Philly. You know what I'm saying? And so his son was in the group Mindless Behavior. You know what I'm saying? And so that was really a thing where we're trying to bridge the gap. It's like
because you was using that flow, like that new flow that the younger cats is vibing with right now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But you was doing it your way though. You know what I mean?
Exactly. See, you caught all that. Exactly. And so there was actually, and I knew I was gonna make both sides mad. I knew the old heads was gonna be like, nah, Trey, why you
I like that. That was fire.
No. But eventually they came around. They couldn't grab it at first. It's like, damn. But I'm like, are you listening to what I'm saying? Like, you're not really, you know what I mean? And then the young bucks is like looking at me, is like, oh, well, who this old dude? But then they see that I'm catching their groove, and they like, old head.
Yeah, because you got bars in there. You got some bars in that shit. But one bar that caught my ear that I felt, I was like, yo, this like that you kind of said about yourself is you called yourself the Don Dada of conceptual rap. You know what I mean? I like that because listening to your music, you do a lot of stories. You kind of like well-rounded, like you do it all. So I was like, wow, for him to actually call himself that, like that was, you know what I mean? Like you let anybody you know your gift, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. As an MC, man, and like I said, all the greatest MCs got vibrato. You know what I'm saying? All the greatest MCs, they smelling their own shit. So it's just like, I think, and I was talking to my man Cows, he was talking about Nelly. He said Nelly had a line that says, I brag on the mic, but I'm humble in real life. Like that's really me. Like I'm not all out, in the street, like, oh, I'm the greatest of all time. But if you ask me a question about MCing, and you ask me about myself, or if I get on the mic, I'm not gonna tell you nothing different. I'm gonna tell you this is what I do. You know what I mean? And it's bragging, but I'm just that confident in my skill level. You know what I'm saying? So, for you to pick up on that, you know what I mean? And really, it was going back to Many Faces, because Many Faces is a conceptual.
Yeah, a lot of stories on Many Faces, man. I forget the joint, but you got a song talk about you. It's like you and your mans is coming in and out talking about a robbery is real. You know what I mean? Real intricate joint on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the professionals, we was robbing the industry, and even like using the different voices to do a murder mystery. Like it's all me. You know what I'm saying? It's a record called Clue. It's 5 characters, but I'm playing all the characters.
Yeah,
you know
okay. I was one. Okay, I peeped that. I peeped that. Yeah, I remember that joint too. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all built from a concept. So when I said that line, it was like really reverting to that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. So, brother man, this Friday, Black Friday, November 27th, you're gonna drop Glory. Tell the people about this album and what should they expect from this project by this new project by Tracy Lee.
Well, I'll say this. Okay, so again, shout out to OJs, man. I always got to mention OJs first because to me, OJs, even on Unexpected, and now on Glory is the star of the show. The musicality, the tracks, the beat.
Yeah.
I mean, they're special. They're just special. That's the only way that I can describe it. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
But Glory to me is my best work. Is my best work. And so
I would say that.
For those that have been privy to Glory already, because I started selling Glory on my website on July 31st. So,
okay.
You know what I mean? So it's been out for about 4 months, but
okay,
that marketing was on purpose and intentional because what we wanted to do was for two reasons. You know, streaming platforms don't really pay, you know what I'm saying? And we wanted to target our foundation. We wanted to target our audience, like who is really rocking with Trey Lee. And so by selling it on the website, that's when you can get a great idea of who really rocks with you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so by the time we get to the streaming services, you got enough voices out there to, help you market it. You know what I mean? Like my man Eddie, shout out to Eddie, shout out to Word of Mouth, shout out to Kill, because they've been on it since day one. You know what I mean?
That's how I found out about your album through those guys promoting it. You know what I mean?
You see what I mean? So it works. It works. You know what I mean? And they've been championing this album since July. And been consistent with it. And so it snowballs into other cell groups that have listened to it and been listening to it. Shout out to my girl Kimberly Robeson. What I'm saying? Shout out to my man E Hut. Like all of these cats from all different parts of the world, that have put their ears on it for the last 3 months and saying and telling people, oh no, Paul Howard, Johnny D, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you gotta listen to this album. And so now when we get to Friday, I got more anticipation from those that have not heard it because they haven't been privy to the website or Patreon, which is another platform that I use for people that I give even more than just the music. There's more insight into the actual, production of the work, studio work that you can see visually, all that kind of stuff that we put out to those people. And so the people on Patreon, the people that actually go to the website, now we got a street team of people that's telling people about Friday, 11/27, Glory is going to drop. It's a 12-song album entirely produced by OJs again, and it's going to take you through a journey of 2020. It is going to literally every emotion that you felt in 2020, that's what this album is. Everything.
You ain't lying, brother.
Ups, the downs, the ins, the outs, everything. The smiles, the frowns, you know what I'm saying? The empathy, the sympathy, you know what I mean? The compassion, the hunger, the pain, the tears, everything. The joys, the highlights, all of it. That's what this album is.
Yeah.
Is that what you felt?
Oh, hell yeah. Definitely I felt that, man. Joints like the title track Glory, the old me, you know what I mean? Thanos.
Ooh, Thanos.
You know I think that's probably the first one I listened to, man, because just off the strength of the name, you know what I mean? But
Thanos. So Thanos is a derivative of many faces. Thanos is the creative aspect of it, and it's really a parable between, the end game. What's the other movie? The other Marvel movie, the end game, and Eddie, help me out. What's the other one? But
Endgame.
anyway, the both of the movies that Thanos was in, like if you look at those movies, to me, those were parables of real life and what's going on right now. When you start talking about man trying to control the population and the
Right.
things that they're doing to control the population. And so it's essentially I'm making a parable.
Infinity War. Yeah. That's what
Infinity
I
War.
said.
Infinity War. Thank you. Infinity
Yeah.
War and Endgame. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Those two are like, to me, they're parables of what's going on right now. And so when
Right.
you listen to that record, it goes there. And,
Yeah.
and if you're not on it like that, then I understand. But for those that are on it, like my man Lance, when he first heard it, he was like, "Yo, this might be the greatest song I've ever heard." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But because he's into that psyche, like he's into the
Yeah.
comics, he's into Eddie too. You know what I mean? It just goes there, and you see the correlation between
Yeah.
that and what you're actually experiencing right now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, I give you it's a money back guarantee on this album. There's no way, I gave it to my man, this cat, my man Streety Wonder out of Chicago. I gave it
Okay.
to him early because he's a real live critic. You know what I'm saying? Like he tries to find some shit to be like, nah, this shit is whack. I gave it to him. He
Yeah.
said he got through track 1. He said, okay. He went to track 2. He was like, okay, I'm gonna still find some shit. He said by the
Yeah.
time he got to track 8, he was like, I can't find shit. Then he was like, track 10, oh, this shit, you know what I mean? So, and that's how we chop it up about it now and laugh, man. But it's like
Yeah.
it's just one of those things, man. It's gonna capture every emotion that you're feeling right now.
Yeah, I would definitely call it. I would definitely say that this is your greatest work. And I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I mean, let me hear it and
Oh,
preview it,
absolutely.
man. Before I feel special,
Absolutely.
like I mean, hearing this because it's really impactful, man. Like y'all gonna be in for a real treat when y'all hear this album, man. Because the man delivered on this right here, man. You know what I mean?
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot, bro. Yes, sir. That means a lot, man. That means a lot.
Right.
Um,
You bring it, keeping it to one producer. You know what I mean? That's real dope, man.
it gives us a chance to build, like I said, I've known that brother OJ for a minute, but we've really built the synergy, you know what I'm saying, over the last two
Yeah, because it
albums.
all sounds cohesive. It all every song, you know what I mean? Everything goes together.
Exactly. And the special thing about that brother, like he just did a whole project for this cat named Nizza, who's also bananas. This dude is, but he Nizza's from another generation, but he's still so dope. And so for Jizz to be able to say, okay, cool, I got this cat that was out in the 90s, 50 years old, but then I got this
Right.
other cat that's, late 20s, early 30s, and on some whole different vibe, and be able to capture the sounds of both of us. It speaks to, just his genius, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so, I'm just, thankful that, I was able to, you know, kind of, build the synergy with him and us to be able to collaborate with our talents to be able to create something like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's dope, man. So you just mentioned that you're 50 years old, bro. First of all, I want to say you look good for your age, man. Hip hop is, you know what I mean? Hip hop is looking good at 50 years old, man.
Thank you, brother.
Like you said, you were a guy that was out in the 90s. You're still able to come out now. I love to see guys, MCs from my era, still be able to put out music and be themselves and be true to themselves. What is the inspiration? What's giving you this energy to keep pushing and do it at the level that you're doing it?
I mean, okay, it's really three things. First of all, it's a gift that God gave me. So I think I would be being disobedient if I didn't. First thing, you know what I'm saying? Second thing is that I got love for the culture. Like the culture,
Mhm.
we are of the culture. You know what I'm saying? We are of the culture. Like if you're being negligent, if you just don't adhere to what you are, this is what I am. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's easy for me. You know what I mean? And then the third thing is I love my people. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? I know how people could be bananas sometimes. I know how people could be disrespectful. I know how people, you know what I'm saying? But I always got faith in my people. And so as long as I keep those energies intact, it's like I could do this. I'm going to do this shit until I'm no longer here. You know what I mean?
I hope
like,
you do, man.
Because this is what we do. It's like I put my, you know what I mean? I put one leg in the pant and the other leg. Like, this is some natural shit. I get up, I brush my teeth. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, whatever the natural, progress is during the course of your day, this is a part of that. You know what I mean? I eat,
Right.
you know what I mean? Certain times of the, you know what I mean? I listen to music, I write a rhyme, you know what I mean? Like, this is just what we do. And I just got to pay. It's not a job to me. I
Right.
could do this shit with or without currency coming in or out. Of course, if you're smart enough, if you got business savvy, you monetize it. I'm not saying don't do it,
Right.
do it for free. God damn it. I'm a damn sure, create products for people to purchase, you know what I'm saying? But I do it still out of love. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not an issue. It's an 8.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. It's an 8. Thank you. It's an 8. I love that.
Yeah.
Right. It's what we do.
Yeah.
It's what you do. This is why you doing the podcast.
Exactly.
You do it because you love it, right?
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt.
Shout out to DJ Dice, man. DJ for Redman. Method.
Oh yeah.
DOS Effects. He's in here, man.
Salute to DJ Dice, DOS Effects, all them cats, man. Salute. So how do you balance this, making music and this family life? Like, how are you able to how are you able to be a husband, a father, and a dope MC at the same time?
Oh man. You know what this does, man? It just adds another element to the MC-manship. And not only that, there's an understanding. My wife knew who she was marrying. You know what I'm saying? So when you bring other people into your lives, and when other people bring you into their lives, and you create a partnership in that manner, the ideal partnership is that everybody understands everybody. Everybody understands each other. And so I understand what she does. I know what her limitations are. I know what, she knows what my limitations are. She knows what she can ask of me. I know what I can ask of her. And then there's, above all, 2 things: love above everything, and then respect. So as long as those things are intact, she has respect for what I do. I have respect for what she does. And I respect, where I can go with what I do. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that she's still comfortable, you know what I mean, with the things that I do. You know what I mean? So, and then my kids, they just bring a different energy. You know what I mean? Like my kid, I got young kids. I'm 50, but I got a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
damn, okay. They little.
Huh?
They're little, you know what I mean?
They little, you know what I'm saying? So there's a respect thing there. I mean, there's a new energy here. So now I feel like they give me the energy because shit, they don't stop. My son get up 6:30 in the morning every morning. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like they give me that vim and vigor, you know what I mean? And then I feel like it's my duty to show them things. And one thing that I always wanted to do is to show them who their father is, not who their father was. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, you got to see your dad in real time. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not a relic.
I believe you had did you have one of your kids recording on one of the songs or something?
My daughter, you're damn right. You know
on the ad-libs.
Yeah, absolutely. Had her in the booth early.
No doubt.
But that came from me discovering that she does have, certain traits and qualities about her that I think came from me.
Mm-hmm.
Like her ability to hold rhythms, her ability to hold notes. You know what I mean? At such a young age, you know what I'm saying? Her affinity for the music. Like Michael Jackson's her favorite artist. She never seen Michael Jackson alive.
Right.
Ever. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but she understands the music that she's heard. Like Off the Wall got played daily at one time. You couldn't get in the car without hearing Off the Wall because that's what she wanted to hear. You know what I'm saying? She got exposed to it and just loved it early. So, it's a lot of that, man. It's just it's a lot of the family life has definitely catapulted my personal career even further because again, I want you to see what your daddy is, and 2, it's given me other avenues that I can go down with the music, other things to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like you alluded to earlier. Like shit, we 50, we grown-ups. You know what I'm saying? Like we doing real grown-up shit now.
Right.
A lot of people are afraid to talk about the grown-up shit. There's a few. Fonte, shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple people, but now, but I'm going in that same vein. Like I'm gonna talk about, you know what I mean, like 9 to 5 in it. I'm gonna talk about the mortgage. I'm gonna talk about, house repairs. I'm gonna talk about landscaping. I'm gonna talk about all that shit.
Real shit.
And I'm
That's
gonna
real
do it
shit.
in a hip and cool way. You know what I mean?
No doubt. Well, Trey, man, I definitely got to say, bro, you made my job easy tonight, man. Word up.
I talk a lot too, so I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry.
No, there's no need to pop. I mean, that's what interviews are for, man. You know, the talking and you definitely caught people up with what you've been doing, man, over the past I would say what 23 years in the game.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to my boy Uncle Izzo. Trey, what up? My namesake. What's good with you, homie?
Right. So listen, man. Tell the people what you got. Well, we already know that the album is coming out this Friday, man. But let the people know where they can get it, what platform they can find it on, and I mean, what singles are you coming out off the album?
You said what singles?
Yeah, what singles from Glory?
I think I'm gonna single all of them.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see in the background. Hold on, I'll show you. Let me see. Yeah, you see that? You see the green screen over here?
Okay.
Yeah, so you
got some visuals coming.
Huh?
I said, so you got some visuals coming.
Oh, absolutely. And I think we're gonna shoot visuals for every single one of them because you listen to the story, you listen to the album, it really tells a story. So I think
because all the songs are like chapter 1, chapter 2.
Exactly. Yeah. So for me to disjoint them and only give you one will be doing it a disservice. I got to give them all to you. You know what I mean? So, all I got to do is cut the camera on back here, put it on the green screen, send it to, and I may shoot some visuals outside too, you know what I mean? But, distancing, of course, and then send it to, Ojiz, because Ojiz is the one-stop shop. He produces, he's a mix master, he does the visuals. The dude is incredible. He's a mad scientist.
That's what's up.
So I'll send it to him, and then he'll doctor it up. You know what I mean? And then we off and running. But to answer your question, we're gonna single everything. We singling everything.
All right.
You're gonna hear everything in its entirety. You know what I mean? Because I feel like you gotta get it all. You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't get it all. But
no doubt.
Again, Friday, 11/27, Black Friday. It's a double entendre here. Black Friday. You dig me? Black Friday. It will be dropping on all streaming platforms. But if you can't wait until Black Friday, you can go to my website right now and get it right now at TracyLeeMusic.com, TracyLee music.com. If you want to enjoy the experience right now, you can go there, or you can go to my Patreon page, which is you get more than just the music. That's patreon.com/Tracy Lee Music. We also got the Glory merch that's dropping on Black Friday. You know what I'm saying? Just come on over to, the IG, to my IG page, Tracy Lee ESQ, TracyLeeESQ. You see all the advertisement there. If we're friends on Facebook, I know a lot of people don't really rock with Facebook, but I'm still over there. You know what I'm saying? So come over there and check that out. You can go to Twitter. We're advertising all the Glory merch over there. And then there's one more element that I thought I was going to be able to announce on your show. But I'm still trying to dot the I on this thing. But I probably, before, we go to sleep tonight, I'll be making a major announcement of something else that we'll be dropping that you'll be able to get to on Black Friday as well. So Friday is going to be a big day. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So before we go, could I get you to give do a drop for me real quick, man?
Oh, absolutely. What you need? I need the script. What you need me to say?
Man, just say, yo, this is Trey Lee, and you checking out the Podkast podcast with Gary Gnu, man.
Oh, man. You know what it is, man. This is Tracy Lee, and you're checking out the Podkast podcast with my man, Gary Gnu. You know what it is. Philly all day. Glory 2020. It's like that. Easy.
Word. So, yo, I want to salute to all my followers and my subscribers, man. Keep following, keep watching. Click that like button, leave a comment, and let me know what y'all felt about this dope interview, dope convo that we had tonight with this brother, Trey Lee. Much continued success to you. And I want everybody out there to stream, download, share, this new album, this new project, this new project coming out, man, called Glory from this brother. And that's it, man. Podcast Podcast, yo. We signing out, y'all. But Trey Lee, I want to thank you for your time, man. I definitely appreciate you, brother. This was golden, man. For real. Salute.
No, this is easy peasy, man. You about the culture, man. I always bond with people about the culture, man. This is nothing. We could have been talking for another 3 hours.
Oh yeah, we could go, man. We could go, definitely, man, definitely.
But I appreciate it, man. And you and your family, man. You have a safe holiday and all that good stuff, man. Everybody out there, be safe out there. Check up on your peoples.
Definitely.
Please, I have to stress that. Check up on your peoples during this time. I know there's a physical detriment right now, but the psychological detriment is going to be even crazier, in my opinion, because we still going to have to deal with this thing even after it's over, man. It's a lot of people hurting right now, man. So please, if you're not able to get to your family for the holidays, just give them a phone call, Zoom, whatever. Check up on your peoples periodically.
Word. Once again, Trey, I thank you, my brother. Be safe out there, man. We going to have you back on the show soon, man.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to. Absolutely.
No doubt. All right. Peace, my brother.
Peace.
Be easy. Salute.
Yo, that was dope.